Howdy do. Um, it's like I just had like a light bulb moment, and I know it's been a while since I come on here, but and first off, I just want to apologize for any background noise in advance. But yeah, it's like I had a light bulb moment, and actually, there's like a few things that I want to talk about. I'm still not sure if I want to try to make it into one video or if I'll like press stop and record another video or something like that. Who knows? I'll just go ahead and flow with it. So, while having a discussion with a loved one, they asked me to do something, and I understood what they were talking about. It was like, oh, okay. In my mind, it was like, oh, okay. And then I started like getting passionate when I was speaking, meaning my tone changed and stuff like that. And I do, and I, for one, noticed that I typically do that when things kind of change. I don't know. It's like it's interesting. It's not that I'm agitated most times or anything like that, but it's like I do talk more passionately. Um, Especially because I am a pretty monotone person. Like if I'm in a good mood to a decent mood, I can sound a lot more bubbly. But for the most part, I talk like this or a little more monotone. And so when my voice does fluctuate and I am talking with more passion, it stands out. And so and that's one thing that I've been noticing about myself. And so anyway, like during this conversation, like I understood what they were asking. I like agreed to it. It made sense to me. But then the next part is what really got me, and like I was so happy that I was able to step outside of myself while I was doing it and catch it. And so I was then starting to like what I normally would call brainstorm on how to make it click for me and how to kind of get it into my programming so that I can do what I was being asked. And so when I stepped outside of myself, it was just like I had to like kind of pause, like, wait a minute, like for my loved one, it may sound like I'm opposing them. And it's like, it's not that. Like, I'm literally trying to make it make sense to me and trying to process. And so I realized that I was saying that I was brainstorming, which is true, but it's also me trying to process. And I do process differently. So it's like, I'm just trying to make it make sense to me and how I can accommodate what's being asked and yeah, and make it make sense to me. And so I caught myself and I like explained like, I'm not, opposing what you're saying at all. I'm just literally trying to make it make sense. I'm processing out loud. I'm thinking out loud, I guess. And then I realized like I over the next 24 hours or so that I do that often with them. I don't do it with everybody, but much like how I like to, or I used to like to brainstorm with people, I just figured that's what we were doing. Like, oh, okay, like you present something, let's brainstorm and try to figure it out. Or I present something, let's brainstorm and try to figure it out. Because it's like, we're two different people trying to make whatever it is work. And brainstorming is done on, many different levels and stuff. And typically, I used to like to brainstorm about like, the future and like goals and potential goals and stuff like that. And I still do, but it's like it even it's on a smaller level, like just having a conversation with someone. And so I don't know, it just kind of clicked to me yesterday. And yeah, then I realized like, okay, I'm this is part of the reason why just a part. I'm sure there's many other parts of why I am misunderstood or I feel so misunderstood. Because if when I'm going through this processing with someone, it may seem to them that I'm opposing them because it's like me taking what they said and trying to work it out in a different way than the way that it was said. And that could be looked at like opposition when it's not. And so I just realized like I can do like when I am going out for a job or something like that, have me a notepad or, tell them to hold on and go get a notepad and write it down and do my processing in my head to myself about whatever it may be. Or I can wait until later and just process it. And then maybe they won't take it as I'm opposing them and there won't be that form of misunderstanding. So I just wanted to share that because I'm not sure if anybody else has come to that realization or if it happens with anybody else. I just kind of discovered it within myself, but I saw it and I saw how what was coming out of my mouth when I was saying it was being taken as some form of opposition, not necessarily me like just like totally going against or trying to debate the situation, but there were like it seemed like there was opposition there, and I literally was just trying to process and figure out how I can come up with a way to make it flow, make what was being presented to me make sense to me and in my life. So, I just want to share that. I think I am going to go ahead and pause this here and